Some winner winners are winning free chicken dinners for a year. So download and play.
Although it doesn't get as much attention in North America because it runs concurrently with the NHL playoffs, right now the World Championship of Hockey is ongoing. Today, Switzerland defeated Canada, which sounds like it should be an upset, but it's really not, at least based on past performance. But the big story was just a disgusting play on the ice. And this has been going completely viral. Joe Veleno, in a battle at the boards, straight up stomps on the leg of Nino Niederreiter. And I mean, while we did see some just brain-dead takes like this one, love the compete level. If Marchand did this, you wouldn't bat an eye. The vast majority of people completely call this what it is. Not a hockey play. And for those of you who think this isn't dangerous because hockey players wear shin pads, this is what they look like. Yes, the shin pad protects the front of your leg, but there's a ton where you can be seriously injured, and that's exactly what happened to Erik Karlsson in 2013. Now, yeah, he did hit the shin pad here, but this is reckless, and it also wasn't called, and not surprisingly, the refs probably weren't looking for a player to stomp another one. All you need here is for the skate to slide the other way down his foot, and it's a potential career-ending injury for Nino Niederreiter, and I'm not exaggerating here. Making matters worse is that after this, Joe Veleno also took a dive, and I mean, the hockey world, not a fan of the guy right now, to put it lightly. I love that the players seem to give a shit about the tournament. Sometimes it's portrayed, especially for the Canadian teams, as not one players care about, but come on. What needs to be done here? Well, there needs to be discipline from the IIHF. People are saying a lifetime ban. I mean, I don't think you can justify that based on their past precedent, but I think being kicked out of this tournament and maybe being suspended for a period of time from international competition would...
So, from the beginning of this season to next year's playoffs. How about that?
be reasonable. Evander Kane said, "This is why fighting in hockey is needed. It discourages ideas like this and helps police the game effectively. Disgusting play to watch, especially after my injury this year." And yeah, this might be controversial, but I actually agree. A lot of people see fighting, especially retaliatory fighting, as an aspect of the old NHL. I don't know. For me personally, I think if this wasn't the NHL, he's going to have to answer the bell for this. And I think that's kind of needed in a sport like hockey where the refs can only see so much. But I know that's an old mentality. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know your thoughts on all this and more down below.
Probably. This might be one of my favorite videos by Next Man Up. Wayne Gretzky's hilarious chirp.
During that long 7-period game of this round 3 Florida Carolina matchup, we got an absolutely hilarious chirp from the great one himself during one of the intermissions that I hadn't seen posted here on YouTube yet for some reason, so I figured I'd cover it real quick today. For some context, obviously the Maple Leafs broke a huge mental hurdle this year by getting into the second round for the first time in 19 years, where they met the Florida Panthers.
This is the only time I would watch intermission.
And as elated as fans were, Leafs Nation quickly came back down to earth after things didn't exactly finish the way many had anticipated, going out 4-1 with the core 4 getting a whole lot of chatter about their lack of production when it mattered. The big 4 in Marner, Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander combined for a lackluster 3 goals in those 5 games. Not so great. So, back to the video, it was Biz that started it all by taking a shot at Gretzky's former team, the Oilers, saying this.
You gotta roll all lines. That's just how it is. I mean, you saw the teams that tried to maybe go a little too top heavy. I don't want to hurt any feelings here, but Edmonton Oilers playing your 25 and your fourth line's maybe going to get 7-8 minutes. It can hurt you, Wayne.
Obviously referring to the idea that the Oilers are too top heavy and relying on McDavid and Draisaitl so much instead of a more complete 4-line team. And so, here's what the great one had to say in response.
Yeah, well, why are you taking a run at the Oilers? You guys Toronto on no cartons. Missing. So why are you running into my Oilers?
And again, I thought this was hilarious.
Did Joe
We don't exactly
Biden
have a
do
lot
this?
of Gretzky chirps from back in his playing days, so this was just kind of fun to see. Now, for anyone who's a little younger or maybe just didn't get this, he's referring to milk cartons that used to have missing children on them. Essentially, just joking that the Leafs were missing. Now, Gretzky didn't finish his career in Edmonton, obviously, but he got there at 17 won 4 cups with the team, and yeah, obviously they hold a special place in his heart, and so he had to stand up for them here. But yeah, just a real short one here today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I
Plus,
appreciate
it's
it
his
very much, and
hometown.
I will see you in the next one.
So take that.
Surfer Sweeper Dry Cloth, grab Justin hair and lock it away. Better than a broom. Love it or your money back.
Funny.
Periods of hockey, quadruple overtime. This NHL playoff game was insanity. After nearly 6 hours of play, all it takes is one little mistake to end the game. When you look at both the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, they both bring...
I'm gonna rate this guy 1 on his voice, which I'm probably not gonna be rating much on. But second, his language, meaning swear words. Now, Eek has a mouth, which I didn't hear when I first watched him.
Games in an identical way. Get in on the forecheck and make your opponent make a mistake. This, of course, was the theme of Game 1, but it was an emotional roller coaster right from the start. The first period saw some glorious chances for Carolina, but Bobrovsky and the post kept it even until a power play goal at the end of the first. Seth Jarvis teased one home, and the importance of special teams in this series begins to show its colors. For teams that generate their offense in similar ways, capitalizing on the power play will be essential for winning a series like this. Now, in the second period, Florida creates a mistake for Carolina. With Carolina's aggressive forecheck as well, Florida is able to slip it with one bank pass off the boards to create a rush. Carolina has to play catch-up, and they miss Barkov in the slot, and it's a 1-1 game. At this point, the game just becomes all about minimizing your mistakes. With both teams dumping and chasing, all you want to do is punt the puck out of your end as quickly as you can before the forecheck forces a mistake. Carolina would learn this the hard way again as...
Hey, don't do the text. People know what you're talking about and everything. Don't do the text. Plus, you could just do captions.
Off of sustained pressure from Florida's forecheck, their D get caught in a mix-up on assignments. Verhaeghe attacks the seam, and one tiny mistake ends up in the back of the net. Now, part of not making mistakes is staying disciplined, and Florida can't help but learn the hard way in this situation as Sam Bennett gets a little bit too excited and bores Martinook from behind. That leads to a beautiful tic-tac-toe power play goal to tie the game. Now we head into the first OT, where everyone thought this game was going to be over in the first 3 minutes. Florida's forecheck forces another turnover, and you can kind of see a theme here, right? But they eventually funnel the puck on net, and Lomberg buries it to end the game. Panthers clear the bench to celebrate, but the refs say, hold on a second, and after review, they determined that there was goaltender interference. Now, Elliot Friedman said on the broadcast that because Colin White goes into the crease on his own, and he isn't fully shoved in, it's goalie interference. Now, personally, I don't think there was enough contact there to call a goal back in OT, especially because Frederik Andersen gets caught sliding the wrong way, and it seemed like that was mainly the reason he couldn't get back on time, but honestly, who the fuck even knows with the NHL anymore? The result is no goal, and we continue to play on. This is where the true mental grind shows for each team. Carolina gets a new lease on life with this goal called back. Florida, after riding an emotional high, now has to refocus and try and win the game all over again. Both teams went right back to work, but Sergei Bobrovsky and Freddie Andersen were absolutely lights out. In all 4 overtimes, they made huge stops to keep this game going, but after over 6 hours of playing hockey, physically and mentally, you're due to make a mistake. In the dying seconds of quadruple overtime, Carolina's D fall right into Florida's classic forecheck, and Bennett makes a great read on the boards to stop a clearing attempt. He then funnels it directly to Tkachuk, who pulls it into his body and fires through the triangle of Burns, and that is the game. Florida wins it. Tkachuk points to the locker room. It is official. The Calgary Flames have been eliminated from playoff contention.
Wow. Should I do it? Should? Leave a comment down below if you think hockey psychology should be part of this series. Thank you for watching.